I'm Chae Shilingford.
Hello, my name is Jessica Azquita.
Hi, I'm Selena Munoz.
Today, we will be talking about net neutrality and how we support it. Do you enjoy having accessible news? Well, the news is made accessible through the internet, in which all social classes use. I know I don't find the news interesting. Some broadcasters make watching the news boring, and it can be hard to focus. Instead of watching the news, I just go onto yahoo.com and a news feed is provided for me. All the current events pop up on the front page, and I get to choose which one I want to view. It was found on gigome.com by Andrew Wallenstein on November 2nd, 2010, that surveys were conducted by the Pew Research Center showing that the wealthier you are, the more likely you are to utilize the internet. Based on a Trio phone service done from 2009 to late September in 2013, higher income households depend more on the internet to fulfill their daily duties. 70% of homes that make more than $75,000 a year own a web-connected device, compared to the 40% that don't make that much money. Most of us here are middle-classmen or lower-classmen. B. Isaacson said in the Huffington Post on January 14, 2014, that the internet and all it has to offer would become a luxury to the rich. Now, for those of us who don't fall into that category of rich, this may be a problem. Everyone should be able to attain the same information for the same price, for the simple fact that we all will be getting the same info. I support net neutrality because without it, our education will be minimized.
Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers should enable access to all content and application regardless of the source, and without favoring or blocking particular products or websites. Without it, education will be minimized. It was said on netstatistics.net on September 30th, 2009, that 1.6 million people signed a petition supporting net neutrality organized by Free Press. B. Stripling says on Wire.com on January 16, 2014, that school, public, and college libraries rely heavily upon the public availability of open, affordable internet access for school homework assignments, distant learning classes, job training, videos, and many other essential services. The key word is affordable. Many, if not most, of our schooling systems have taken budget cuts, resulting in the decrease of jobs. Our state and schooling systems are always looking to go the cheap route. Teachers in schools across the country depend more and more on supplementing homework assignments with videos and other material that is easily available to anyone with internet connection. Students of virtual charter schools, homeschooled students, and children with special needs depend almost exclusively on web-based instruction. Without net neutrality, the internet access will no longer be affordable to the schools, restricting our internet use. Stripling also said, by enabling internet service providers to limit the access, we are essentially saying that only the privileged can continue to innovate, meaning anyone who isn't rich will not be able to easily access the internet. Small content creators, like bloggers, for example, will be challenged with these restrictions over their network, meaning the big content creators, like Contrast, for example, will prevail in the industry thanks to the Federal Communications Commission. America already falls behind much of the world in terms of internet. It ranks only 31st in internet download speeds, behind Russia and Czech Republic. Susan Crawford wrote on modb.com on January 18, 2014, that the FCC wandered off the reservation and away from 100 years of communication history, labeling high-speed internet access services as unregulated. To preserve net neutrality, the FCC has to change the label because common providers need regulation. Even President Obama supports net neutrality since it increases economic innovation and efficiency. The death of net neutrality, according to Obama, will mark the end of accessible internet for future entrepreneurs, and this will have a negative impact for future generations. Neil Stevens wrote on redstate.com on February 3, 2014, that Obama admitted that the court's ruling against net neutrality was an attempt to regulate the internet. The FCC is doing a great injustice to society by killing off net neutrality. The FCC had been doing a lot of rule changing that isn't legal. In the Seattle Times on January 15, 2014, it is said that the FCC exempted broadband providers from the obligations of common carrier status, and then employed other statutory language in pursuit of a facade of net neutrality. When the broadband industry responded with a lawsuit that argued that the FCC couldn't enforce those rules, the court agreed. The court ruled that the Federal Communications Commission just needs to do it right. The FCC just has to protect access to the internet for all the users.
The FCC needs to appeal to the court concerning the open internet order to protect net neutrality because it is necessary for quality education. The government wants to be able to regulate everything we do, and you could slowly see that happening through the new technology today. Equal internet access needs to be enforced. The FCC has to regulate the right way that they'll do that by establishing new rules. Nancy Will said on Chae.com on February 19, 2014, that the FCC will meet the court's tests for preventing improper blocking of and discrimination among the internet traffic. Ensuring genuine transparency is how internet service providers manage traffic and enhance competition. Everyone uses the internet, and I know everyone enjoys the easy access as well. Along with the easy access, the internet allows for us to keep up with the news easily. In order to maintain this easy, affordable access to the internet, we need to preserve net neutrality. Most of the people using the internet are lower or middle class people, in which they won't be able to afford the internet anymore without net neutrality. Not only the people will be affected, but schools will be affected as well. If we can't afford to keep all these teachers, how would we be able to afford this luxury? Without net neutrality, our education can be furthered.